All right, so today we are going to be discussing managing client feedback and revisions, right? I feel like at this stage, I am actually a master at this. I know how to manage it, but it took me a long ass time. It took me a very, very long time in order to be able to know how to manage client feedback and revisions also. I actually prepare myself for it. I had to psych myself into loving it, into wanting it, into demanding for it, rather than me just praying that the client doesn't do it. I stay on the offensive. I think that is it. Yeah. I stay on the offensive. I actually demand for those revisions so that um the client, first of all, it does two things. Yeah, it makes the client not feel scared that if he brings revisions, I'm going to reject it or I'm not going to be happy about it. So it calms him down. He's not in a haste to bombard me with revisions, so he feels relaxed. Then the second thing is it psychs me up such that when the revisions come, I'll now be like, I asked for it, it is what I was looking for. I don't feel sad. I don't feel strange. I don't feel weird about it. Now, there's also another component to it because when I started freelancing, I used to feel very sad about revisions. I really did not like revisions. I was like, I've already done all this. There is no need for all these revisions. There is no need for all this change this here, change this here. You've already told me this is what you wanted before, and we have already done it for you. So why are we now going and updating this and this and that? Yeah. Um and I discovered something. I think I discovered this around 2021, to be very honest. When a client gives me a project, when calculating the cost of that project, I actually do add revision cost into it. So if let's say the project is 1 million, for example, and I would add like 300,000 for in case of there is revisions, let me not feel strange about it. And I stick to that money. If the client refuses to pay that money, I actually don't take the project. But like I said, you have to get to that stage. You know, if you are starting out, it is not going to be the case. You need to suck it up. You need to do it regardless of what is going on, because your goal at that stage is to get a loyal client base. That is your number one goal. Your goal is not really to earn as much money as possible. You do that in stage two because you need that money to build yourself for stage three. But for stage one, your goal is to get as much loyal client base as possible. You have to build and work and sacrifice so much that when people think of who should I hire for this job, or this, let's say, software engineering, because I'm a software engineer, for this work, your name is the only name that is popping up in their head. That is how to do it, and you will sacrifice. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you and tell you it's going to be easy in the beginning stage, but don't carry that mentality to the stage two and stage three. Once you get to stage two, maybe towards the end of stage two, when you are now start getting some money, you've now built your loyal client base. Um, Add your cost of revision on it. And also, if the client is requesting for a feature that was not in the project scope, don't be scared to say that. Even in stage one, don't be scared to say this is not on the project scope. This is how much extra you are going to pay. Some clients try to be smart. I don't know why most Nigerian clients try to do this. And I've worked with some foreign clients. They rarely do this. They stick to the project scope. They don't, and even if they want to add something else, they'll tell you beforehand that they know that this is not in the project scope and how much is it going to cost for you to do. But you see some Nigerian clients, oh man, they fully know that it's not on the project scope. They will still bring it and add it in the revision. And when you tell them about money, they will be like, Shebi, we've paid you. They are very corny. And you have to be corny too. You don't have to, in fact, I think if you are somebody that is not combative, I don't think you can excel in freelancing. Unless, especially in the Nigerian space, unless your focus is mainly on the foreign space. But I don't really know much about the forex place. Yeah, I've had some clients there, but I don't want to bring that here because not everybody is able to do that. And two, it is not as easy as people say it is. It's not as easy as people say it is, right? So if you most of my clients, about 80% are in Nigeria or Nigerians, right? 20% is foreign. But the Nigerian ones, they can be some of them are actually not that way. I will not say it's all. Some very, very few, they are actually reasonable. They will actually tell you that they know. But most of them are. So you need to learn to challenge them. If they say some of them might even try to connively pick a point that is in the project scope and say it covers it. Say no. Don't be scared of it. The moment you get scared of it and they know that you're scared of it, your own is gone because they will expect you to now be doing it and down below, right? So in fact, what I've not even noticed is that if you're not scared of it, if you're not scared to challenge them, they even like it. They'll pay you more because they know that they can trust you to speak your mind. So don't be scared of that. Now, when you are managing revisions, expect the revisions. I noticed that one of the reasons why I was always feeling pained when people give me revisions after the work is done earlier on was that I was not expecting it. I did not want it. In fact, when I finished the project, I don't want anybody to give me revisions. But this is where my mind changed. I hired somebody because I needed some designs, right? So I hired somebody to do some design work for me, and he did the design work. He did it very well, but there were a few things that we are missing that I needed to add. There are a few things that we are not really done the way I wanted it to be. So I now messaged the guy and I told the guy about the whole thing in a very calm, peaceful way. And that was when it dawned on me that okay, this might be how some people would feel when I finish doing a project for them. There are just a few things here and there that they want to tie the bow or wrap up cleanly that maybe was not really done. So I now started putting myself in the shoes of the client, and that was when I understood that okay, revisions is actually very, very important because it makes everything now complete. You are now happy with what you have. You can now move forward with what you have. You feel more confident with what you have. You get so it was at that moment that I now felt like okay, okay, I should be enjoying these revisions. Right now, I actually enjoy it. I psyched I did not, it's not like I naturally do. I psyched myself to enjoy it. So if I give a client everything, the technical documentation, user manual, and the project is done, I expect that revision. And that is the best way to manage it. Because if you are not expecting it, you would really feel weird. I know I said in some of my videos that I do not have expectations, but when it comes to these revisions, I win either way. If the client does not give me revisions, I still win. If the client give me revisions, I still win. So it is a win-win situation. So I had to reverse the expectations. Most people, when they expect things, if it doesn't happen, they feel disappointed. So but in this case, it's kind of like the reverse. If it doesn't happen, I win. I don't feel disappointed. I feel good. If it happens, I still feel good. But if I'm not expecting it, if it doesn't happen, I feel good. If it happens, I feel disappointed. I don't know if you understand the inverse of what just happened right now. So that was what I did to myself. I kind of psyched myself into it. So now when a client sends me revision, I feel like yeah, I expected this to happen, and I just get it done as much as I can. Now let's go over to the next topic, yeah, or the next flow. If they give you expect revisions, try as much as possible to set the time frame on your own convenience. If they give you revisions, don't try and tell them you're going to get everything done in 1 day or 2 days. If it is going to take you 2 weeks to get it done, take 2 weeks to get it done. It is revisions for a reason. You are no longer bound to the project timeline, but don't go crazy with it. Don't go and take 1 month or something of that nature. If it is taking 2 weeks, take 2 weeks, get it done, see how it's going to flow, flow with it with your own timeline. It's no longer on the project timeline, it's now outside of the project timeline. You can bring up some reasons as to why to yourself. Everybody have their own reasons. Well, one thing I noticed that if they give you revisions, you've looked at that revisions, and maybe you're not really comfortable with it, and you try and do all of them as much as possible. There are a few things I noticed in that scenario, and I'm speaking based of experience, right? If they give you the revisions and you rush to do that revision, that client would keep on giving you revisions, like because in his mind, he's like he feels like I don't know why this is my own personal experience. I don't know why though. I don't maybe in my head I feel like maybe they are seeing that you want to push out this project as fast as possible. So they want to make sure that they have covered all grounds, which can be very tedious because if they give you revisions and you finish it in 1 day, they will now look at it and be like, okay, do this one and this one. And it might happen for like 4, 5, 6 times, which can be very, very stressful because you might be working on other things. Do you get? Now, what I also noticed was this: if they give me revisions and I take my time to do that revisions, I kind of have calmed the client down to the point whereby they are no longer in a rush to keep on giving me revisions because they'll be like, okay, let's launch, let's see if anything is happening. And most times you notice that you may not even hear back from them again. So this is my own personal experience. I'm not saying that it's a fact or it's how it is for everybody, but that's what I've noticed all over over the years of being a freelancer. If you take your time to handle those revisions, you rarely hear back from them, right? And they are not scared that you want to dump the project because they know that you take your time, you are there, and you always need to convince them that you're not running anywhere. Most times clients bombard you with revisions out of fear, right? Especially as a software engineer, they may be scared that if they don't do all this now, they will not be able to reach you again. You know, I noticed this. It's not like somebody told me this. I actually noticed it. For some reason, I just noticed it. I was like, okay, if they are scared that you are going to disappear once you deliver the project, they want to kill you with revisions. Now, if you take your time and make sure you convince them that you're not running anywhere, you're not going anywhere, that in fact, whenever they send you revisions, you get it done. It's just that you get it done on your own timeline. Most of them feel calm. They don't feel in a rush. Their focus now is going to change from the development to the marketing, right? And that is what you want their focus to actually change to be. Because when they start sorry, excuse me, when they start marketing, you will notice that it might lead to more features, and more features means more money, you know. So you want your clients focus when you are done to move from development stage to marketing stage, because in marketing stage there may be a few things that they will really need to add, and it will lead to more money in your pocket, because when you're adding it you need to charge them for that. Okay, so I'm not that is how I was able to psych myself to actually manage clients feedback and revision. I won't lie to you, in the beginning I hated that and I hated it a lot, but as time goes on I knew that I cannot do without it, having gone through my own experience as a client for a graphic designer that did a graphic design for me. And from there my eyes opened. I had to now see how the clients feel, and I now have to encourage revisions. In fact, I don't even put a number of revisions on my own proposal. You will be the one that, as long as it's within the project scope, you'll be the one that be tired, not me. If it's outside the project scope, you pay me. It's that simple. If it is within the project scope, and most times it's just going to be a little revisions here and there. Now, if they give you revisions that will just take you 1 hour, it's not difficult. It's something simple, maybe like change background color, change font size. Just do that as quickly as you can. Don't try to take 2 weeks to do that. It's not going to help your reputation. only take your time in if there is something maybe something logical that may need the database, and I know you understand what I'm saying. So don't try and rush those ones, because rushing those ones might lead to more and more revisions, which is weird. I noticed this in my own journey so far. Now, when it comes to feedback, um there are some clients that no matter what you do, right, they are not going to give you feedback on your work, and you might not even want to give them might not want them to give you feedback because or maybe, okay, I had a client one time that rarely spoke. If you are speaking to him, he's like, okay, fine, I'll send the money. Do. Very short and simple. So those kind of people, I don't usually disturb them for reviews and feedback, because they it would make them feel like you are, how do I explain this? How do I explain this? From experience, they I don't think they like it. That's just it. I really don't think they like it. But there are some clients that when you are done with project, they're like, "Wow, you did an amazing job. This is Once they start saying all those things, I'm asking for a review and feedback immediately, because that is the best time to get it from them. But if you are waiting for later on, I don't think it's the best time. You need to get it from them when they are happy that what you've done is good. And if it is something that you need to work on, most times they will tell you by themselves. I remember there was a time that I did not really have good communication with clients, because that was in my stage one. I was doing so many things at once, so I did not have the energy to just be speaking to a client for 1 hour. There's this client I had that he likes to talk a lot, a lot. If he calls me on the phone, he's ready to talk for 1 hour, 30 minutes. In fact, we'll talk about project, then we'll move to other discussions, move to Tinubu, Buhari, politics, move to this and this and this, move to family life, and I did not really like it, because even though by right I'm not supposed to entertain such, because that's not my job. But later on, as I mature in this game, I think that is the best way to build a relationship with the client, because if you are able to build a relationship with the client, you are stuck in the mind of that client forever. Especially when an opportunity arises. You know those things that they say some people talk about you in doors that you have not accessed in order for you to get something. That thing is real. And to build relationships with clients, some clients are different. Some clients do not like long talk. Some clients feel like they'll have to speak with you for hours in order to get to know you. And you know, I did not do a good thing there, because I was always cutting him short. I was always like, so I have to work. And I remember when I finished his project, he loved his project though. He did not have any issue with my technical abilities, but he told me that I need to improve in my communication skills, because instead of me saying that I'm busy, I have to find another way of saying it. And I took that advice to heart, and I started learning how to communicate better. Now, I know all the excuses, how to close topic, I'm an expert in that one now. And it's all thanks to him, because had it been he did not tell me, I wouldn't have known. We still do talk today, because I'm even working on a project for him right now. It's a previous project, but he's building it into Android and iOS app, right? So we still do talk, and he's still that same way. He still calls me randomly and we talk about things, for 2, 3 hours. But this time around, luckily for me, I'm in my stage three. It's not like when I was in stage one where I was working all the time. I entertain the conversation, and he's the bond. To be honest, man, he has really, really helped my life, because he has referred me to so many people that has paid me millions of naira. He has, in fact, I think he sees me as a brother at this point. And the crazy thing now is that I've not even seen him before. Yes, we've had Google Meets, but I've not seen him physically before. Everything has been online. Right from him meeting, he met me through Nairaland. It was all online. I think I met him 2019. That was when he reached out to me. Everything has been online. I know his family, I know his children's names, but it is all online, So um take the feedback. If it's negative, improve on it. If it is positive, be happy for yourself. Revisions, expect it. Don't even feel like because if you expect it, you win in both ways. If you don't get revisions, you win. If you now get revisions, you win because you were expecting it in the first place. So that is how I do manage it. I think that's all for today. Thank you and bye bye.